Asus ProArt P16. This laptop launches your code faster than a rocket, packs enough RAM and graphics muscle to juggle Python, Photoshop, and a dozen browser tabs without breaking a sweat, and its vibrant OLED display makes your debugging sessions look like curated art installations. The ProArt P16 does run a little hot, and the fan can get vocal, so expect to code with the soundtrack of a wind tunnel. But who needs silence when you have so much power on tap? If you are a programmer who loves speed, style, and a bit of excess, this one's your ticket. Just keep a cold drink handy when the fans kick in. 8 out of 10. Dell Pro 16 Plus PB16250. Dell drops a big screen with slick connectivity, snappy performance, and even the future-ready Wi-Fi 7, but after hours at the keyboard, you'll wish that battery lasted longer than your inspiration, and the single USB-C port means dongle life chose you. The lightweight design won't hurt your back, but 16 GB of RAM might just make your program sweat if you're running heavy-duty workloads, and multitaskers beware. Only the 32 GB model saves your sanity. Sure, it's a reliable toolbox for most coders, but for pure programming power, it's got as much drama as a budget spreadsheet. 6 out of 10. Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 13. This carbon fiber delight is so light and battery hardy, you might forget to charge it between hackathons. Plus, Lenovo finally ditched the bloatware, so you spend more time coding and less time uninstalling random apps. Single-core performance leaps ahead, and the OLED display is easy on your eyes, but memory is locked, so pray your code isn't too greedy, and prepare for sticker shock if you want the fancy model. Fast, classy, and nearly perfect for road warrior programmers. Just watch out for the price tag before your wallet runs away screaming. 9 out of 10. Samsung Galaxy Book 5 Pro 360. The Galaxy Book 5 Pro 360 flips and twirls with a gorgeous 16-inch AMOLED screen and battery life so long, you might forget where you left your charger. Sadly, its keyboard feels like typing on a trampoline, and those new Intel Lunar Lake chips slow down a bit when you throw serious multi-threaded programming at them. For code wranglers who want dazzling visuals more than breakneck speed, it's bright and breezy, but definitely not perfect. 7 out of 10. Apple MacBook Pro M4. The MacBook Pro M4 chews through code like a caffeinated squirrel with its M4 chip, all wrapped up in that signature aluminum suit and a mini LED display you'll want to marry. Battery life is wild, almost 23 hours, meaning you can code through a hackathon, a Netflix binge, and your existential crisis without cracking a sweat. Pricey? Yes, but boy, does it deliver. This one's a certified coding powerhouse. 9 out of 10. HP OmniBook 7 Flip. HP's OmniBook 7 Flip spins into your backpack with solid battery life, a flexible hinge that invites fidgeting, and mid-tier Lunar Lake performance that's fine for student devs, but gasps a bit when tasks get spicy. It's sleek and well-built, but all those AI features are best kept on mute, and there's just enough pre-installed software to remind you who's boss. This one is the sensible shoes of programming laptops. Comfortable but not wild. 6 out of 10. Lenovo ThinkPad T16 Gen 2. The Lenovo ThinkPad T16 Gen 2 marches into the programming trenches wielding a comfy full-size keyboard, a sprawling 16-inch screen, and battery life that can push 10 hours, so you can debug code until you forget what sunlight is. The fan is whisper quiet and Linux compatibility is great, but the keyboard and touchpad might disappoint true ThinkPad purists, and there's just a whiff of flex in the chassis that screams coffee shop, not battlefield. All in all, it's dependable for coding sprints, but not exactly the Chuck Norris of laptops. 6 out of 10. Dell Precision 5690. The Dell Precision 5690 absolutely crushes code compilation with industrial-strength hardware that laughs in the face of complex builds and neural network training, plus a dazzling OLED screen that makes those endless lines of code look almost poetic. It's the mobile workstation you bring home when your regular laptop begs for mercy, and it powers through marathon tasks without breaking a sweat, although the price tag might leave your wallet needing a therapy session. If your programming dreams involve AI models and monstrous datasets, this is the mighty steed you saddle up. 9 out of 10. Lenovo ThinkPad P1 Gen 7. The ThinkPad P1 Gen 7 is the gym rat of coding laptops, flexing a beastly Core Ultra processor, up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, and noise that stays chill even when you're running a 6-hour stress test. Fans will hum but won't sound like a hairdryer next to your ear. Whether you're hacking together massive machine learning projects or just churning through Python scripts at dawn, this lightweight powerhouse delivers smooth performance, solid graphics, and jaw-dropping battery life that even a MacBook blushes at. It's serious business in a svelte shell, like a bodybuilder in a tux. 9 out of 10. Lenovo ThinkPad P14's Gen 5. This ThinkPad is the quiet achiever that handles programming, giant spreadsheets, and light gaming without breaking a sweat or begging for mercy. The keyboard is so comfy, You might find yourself typing dinner recipes in Python just for fun, and the build is sturdy enough to survive an accidental coffee spill or two. But watch out for lackluster battery life and a GPU that says no thanks to intense rendering. So if you need all-day power without plugging in, keep hunting. 7 out of 10. Lenovo ThinkPad E14 Gen 6. The E14 Gen 6 nails everyday coding and multitasking, delivering smooth performance, whether you are knee-deep in code or just drowning in browser tabs for memes research. The keyboard is ready for a marathon session, and with up to 64 gigabytes of RAM, you could probably run a small startup straight from this thing, assuming your startup is into Java, Python, and way too many Chrome extensions. Still, it is stuck in basic territory for graphical grunt, and the looks won't turn any heads, so do not expect your laptop to be the life of any developer meetup. 6 out of 10. Dell XPS 16 9640. The Dell XPS 16 is where power meets pizzazz, perfect for coders who want premium performance with a touch of look-at-me flair. Slapping up to 64 gigabytes of memory and that gorgeous Ultra display, you'll be breezing through huge code bases faster than you can say inefficient loop. But beware, the keyboard and touchpad design might have you inventing new curse words, and it is missing a few ports, so don't toss all your adapters just yet. If your budget forgives you and you crave beastly specs, this might be top dog, though not quite a coding unicorn. 8 out of 10. HP ZBook Fury 16 G11. This beast is basically a desktop that moonlights as a laptop, flexing with up to 128 gigabytes of RAM and enough ports to make your desk look like a command center. The fans do audition for a jet engine at times, but the power and upgrade options will make you feel like you're programming in the Matrix. It is stupendously expensive and a bit chunky. It's for programmers who want their laptop to double as a gym weight. 8 out of 10. HP Dragonfly Folio G3. The Dragonfly Folio G3 is so fancy it might ask for a tip every time you flip that slick convertible screen, and it's perfect for programmers who want silent fans and a luxury feel while casually multitasking with 40 browser tabs. The battery keeps up, and the keyboard treats your fingers very kindly, but the price will have you checking your bank account twice before choosing between groceries or gadgets. Great for stylish coders, but those needing raw speed for heavy builds might want to look elsewhere. 6 out of 10. Lenovo ThinkPad E16 Gen 2. The ThinkPad E16 Gen 2 is that reliable friend who shows up with snacks for your coding marathon. Comfy keyboard, quiet cooling, solid build, and battery life that's almost as persistent as your bug fixes. It is missing some wow factor features, and the CPU clocks might not win any sprints, but programmers will love the upgradable RAM and twin SSD slots for storage hoarding. For programming without drama or sticker shock, this Lenovo makes work feel like a breeze. 8 out of 10. HP EliteBook Ultra G1 Key. This laptop brings battery stamina that just will not quit, running for almost a full day while sipping power. But the port selection is so minimal that even adapters are starting to look nervous. Performance is rock solid for basic tasks and coding, but if you try anything more ambitious than a hefty spreadsheet, you might cue the spinning wheel of existential dread. The AI features are basically a bonus round no one asked for, so unless you are a battery life nut, this one gets a 6 out of 10. HP OmniBook Ultra Flip 14. Bend it, flip it, write code upside down. This laptop does clever yoga moves while dazzling you with its OLED display and quick launches, but sometimes the fancy software trips over its own feet. As a programming daily driver, it has got the speed, the screen, and a magically clicky trackpad, though you might sacrifice some muscle for those sweet convertible moves. If you like shiny, versatile tech that does everything, except maybe win a sprint against a true powerhouse, then it is a solid 7 out of 10. HP ZBook Power G11A. Call this one the gentle giant. With enough muscle from AMD or Intel processors to bulldoze through big code bases or 3D renders, plus more ports than a Swiss Army knife, it is built for programmers with ambition and a love for heavy lifting. The battery goes the distance, but do not expect the screen to sparkle if you are working under Hollywood floodlights, and carrying it might double as your gym workout. So for those who desire raw workstation heft and do not mind the bulk or minor display gloom, it pulls a strong 8 out of 10. Asus ROG Zephyrus G16 2025. The Zephyrus G16 is thinner than your patience during project deadlines, packing a beastly punch with its ultra processors and up to the RTX 5090 graphics card. Programming on this powerhouse feels like hacking the Matrix in a designer suit, but watch out. Your lap might turn into a hot yoga studio if you code too long. If you crave speed, style, and can handle occasional thermal drama, this one nearly hits a grand slam. 8 out of 10. Lenovo Yoga Pro 9e. The Yoga Pro 9i does a backbend and lands every mark with a stunning mini LED display, epic battery life, and enough RAM to keep your wildest coding dreams alive. This thing breezes through heavy development work, and the keyboard feels so smooth you might just write Shakespeare instead of Python by accident. Sure, it's not the cheapest out there, but it struts with elite performance and display flair that could blind your debugging frustration. 9 out of 10. Asus ExpertBook P5 Pro 5. The ExpertBook P5 is the quiet, dependable friend. Great battery, solid build, but tries a little too hard with business features and local AI tricks that programmers may never touch. Performance is fine for daily coding, but push it with serious multitasking, and it sweats like a business intern on their first day. If you want basic reliability and efficiency for your code, grab it, but don't expect fireworks. 6 out of 10. MSI Titan 18HX. This monster laptop roars with more power than my coffee on a Monday, but it's bigger than my regrets after trying to carry it to a cafe. The performance feels wild for programming. Think multitasking at warp speed, but the price tag is even wilder. Unless you live near a diamond mine. Battery life is basically a game of how long can you sprint before the giants chase you. But hey, at least the mini LED display will show you every pixel of doom before your plug runs out. 7 out of 10. Lenovo Legion Pro 7i Gen 9. This beast packs serious speed, vibrant visuals, and a fair bit of RGB bling. So if you love your code colorful and your compile times quick, it's got you covered. It's not cheap, but the display is dazzling. The battery won't leave you stranded on a hackathon night, and it can handle anything you throw at it, even if it's not as slim as your Git repository. Thermal management is decent, the keyboard's comfy for marathon coding sessions, and the connectivity options are more generous than free pizza at a startup pitch. 8 out of 10. Microsoft Surface Laptop Studio 2. If you want your laptop to double as a sketchpad with killer pen support and performance that won't slow your code, this wildly flexible machine is surprisingly capable for developers and creative folks. It's got a gorgeous screen, switches between modes like a caffeinated chameleon, but still isn't the king of hardcore number crunching, so not all programmers will worship it. Battery life won't ruin your day, but for the price, you might wish it coded for you while you nap. 6 out of 10. HP Omen Transcend 14. This machine is basically the go-to laptop for programmers who want to game between debugging marathons, with a snappy OLED screen and beefy keyboard that's so tactile it might start giving pep talks. You get Intel Meteor Lake CPUs, up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, and just barely enough battery to survive a 2-hour coding session before you're hunting for sockets like a charging vampire. The thing is portable, powerful, and quiet, but 6 hours of battery means you might want to pack an extension cord and some snacks for the wait. 7 out of 10. Lenovo Legion 9e Gen 9. This beast rolls into your workspace like it just left a secret gaming convention, loaded with ridiculous power, liquid cooling, and glowing lights that are more nightclub than coffee shop. The performance crushes any coding workload with an Intel Core i9 and up to a 4090 GPU, but at almost 4 kilograms and battery life that makes you nostalgic for regular breaks, you'll be working out your biceps and your patience at the same time. Great if your idea of fun involves rendering animations in Blender while bench pressing your laptop for extra credit. 6 out of 10. Apple MacBook Air M4. The MacBook Air M4 is so thin it might slip under your syntax errors, but don't let its featherweight looks fool you. The M4 chip chews through code builds with wild efficiency and stays cool, unless you're pushing your luck with local AI models where it gets a bit toasty. It cruises through projects on Xcode or VS Code, plus the battery outlasts most study sessions, unless you get ambitious with heavy editing or exports. Lightweight, fast, and, unless you hate Mac OS, the friendly developer's sidekick for those just one more commit nights. 8 out of 10. Asus VivoBook 16 M1605. The Asus VivoBook 16 M1605 really stretches out with its big 16-inch screen, which is perfect for making your code look like a sprawling Renaissance painting. If only the rest of the specs felt as grand. Underneath that roomy display, the performance is just decent, so heavy-duty tasks might have you fighting the fan noise and watching your machine yawn while your code tries to sprint. It's a comfy pick for casual coding sessions and Netflix breaks, but pro programmers will want something with more horsepower and less nap time. 5 out of 10.